Okay, good afternoon, students. So please quickly join into this. Tell other students. Please inform others. Okay, today we will consider continuous time, linear time invariant systems. And in the continuous time, linear time invariant systems, we will discuss the um, how to represent a continuous time signal in terms of a linear combination of shifted impulses. And using um, the any I mean x of t, any arbitrary signal representation, we are going to derive the expression for the convolution integral. Then we'll consider one problem related to convolution integral. Slowly we'll move into the convolution integral. Now present the okay, I will share the screen. Let us start our discussion. Now, continuous time LTI systems. Okay, a continuous time LTI system is a linear time invariant system, and the signals which are involved are the x of t input signal applied, y of t output signal response of the system, and there may be another signal, that is the h of t. It is a impulse response of the system. Now, x of t, h of t, and y of t, the three different signals are continuous time signals. That's why they will continuously changes with respect to independent variable time. Now, we are in continuous time. In the previous class, we are in discrete time, where the signals are amplitude of the signal is continuous, but the time independent variable small n is discrete. It follows integers. Now we are x of t. X is a dependent variable and t independent variable, where t is a continuous value, takes continuous values. Now we know that one linear time invariant system means it follows two properties, system properties. One is a linearity and second one is a time invariance. Okay, I will briefly just okay, I will explain. Linearity, you know that one, when your system was supposed to satisfy superposition theorem. What is that one? It states that the response to a somebody raised a hand. Balaji, who is Balaji? T Balaji. Yes, you can ask me. See, somebody raised hand. Balaji T. Is my voice is audible to all? Is my screen is visible? Anybody? Yes, you can just respond once. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, good. Okay, so topic is continuous time, linear time invariant systems. So we know that one linear means linearity property. The system must satisfy superposition principle. What is the what it states that the response of a weighted sum of input signals B equal to the weighted sum of the outputs corresponding to each of the individual inputs. So if you can see the transformation of combined signal, that is the response of overall signal, is equal to the summation of individual responses corresponding to the individual inputs. So then you can say that the system obeys the linearity. So already we have done certain problems and we have applied certain rules on left hand side, whether it is equal to the right hand side. If it is done, then it comes to linearity. Now such a way, the second property, the system obeys time invariance. That means the behavior or maybe characteristics of the system must be fixed over the time. Now what it is saying is a shift in the input signal causes corresponding shift at the output signal. Now the mathematical it is proved as transformation of x of t minus t naught. Now you are in continuous time. Now whatever the functions are x of t or maybe y of t, x of t naught, y of t naught, like with respect to t, continuous signal. Therefore, x of t minus t naught means we have applied certain shift on x. Then we are transforming the signal and we are verifying whether your output is transformed to the same. Your signal is shifted at first. Then if this relation is proved, then you say the system comes under time invariance. So continuous time LTI system is a system which obeys linearity and time invariance property. Linearity, where you have to satisfy superposition theorem, and time invariance, you have to check whether the applied shift must be reflected at the output or not. Now we know that one. It's a normal representation. X of t is mapped into y of t. This is transformation. Okay. There may be any behavior. We are applying on x of t and we are collecting the output of particular system. So, okay. Now our system is a continuous time LTI system. Up to now, normal systems. Up to now, you have to check whether the system comes under the proper behavior or not, the property or maybe any other classification. Now we have fixed that one, the linearity and the time invariance. Therefore, we are applying certain signal onto the system and we are collecting certain output where your system obeys the linearity and the time invariance property. Okay, so far in the previous class, we have seen any discrete time signal can be represented in terms of a linear combination of shifted impulses. I repeat, the previous class, what is our work in the discrete time LTI systems is we considered any arbitrary discrete time signal and we have represented the signal in terms of a linear combination of shifted impulses. I repeat it. So how you have done that is, first of all, we treated our signal contains a number of samples. We treated our signal contains a number of samples. And each and every sample we are considered as an individual impulse and it is shifted to a particular instant. That's why shifted impulse. And whatever the weight, that is x of 0, x of 1, x of minus 1, linear weights. So in a discrete time signal, impulse means impulse is a signal which defines that n is equal to 0 and the amplitude of the signal is 1. So that's why you are directly, we have compared a sample with respect to impulse and it is shifted to certain value and it is having some amplitude. Directly you have compared the impulse and a sample of a discrete time signal. Now you are in continuous time domain. Now let us go to the continuous time impulse function. So in the previous class, I mean in the before classes, you have understood that there is a difference between continuous time impulse and discrete time impulse. అంటే discrete time impulse అనేది ఒకటే వాల్యూ కరెక్ట్ గా ఒకటే శాంపుల్ n is equal to 0 దగ్గర amplitude 1 అని డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం. కానీ when we go to the continuous time, okay, once again I will repeat the same. See, impulse function. Now I have derived the unit impulse function using unit step function, because whatever this one is the area under the curve. Actually, impulse may be defined like this. delta of t is equal to 0 where t is not equal to 0. That means t అనేది ఈక్వల్ టు 0 కాకపోతే డెల్టా అనేది డిఫైన్ చేయబడదు. అంటే డెల్టా ఎక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నాం అమ్మా, t ఈక్వల్ టు 0 దగ్గర ఒక చోట డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. యాక్చువల్ గా మనం 1 అని చూపించేది ఏంటంటే ఏరియా అండర్ ద కర్వ్. హౌ వి హావ్ డిరైవ్డ్ దిస్ వన్? Actually you have considered certain unit step function. Please remember the previous class. You have considered certain step function. Actually step function lo problem entende at 0 it is discontinuous. It's not continuous at 0. But after a certain time period it suddenly enters into 1 and it maintains constant. That is the actual signal, fundamental unit step signal. Okay. So that's why we are using this point. We have redrawn the step signal such a way there is an incremental change from 0 to delta, very small change. Within very small incremental time and there may be incremental amplitude towards 1. These two are same. So we are representing that. Discontinuity అని చెప్తున్నాడు వాడు. But how you can get suddenly 1? That's why ఏం చేశాడు ఇక్కడ వీడు ఇంక్రిమెంటల్ గా ఇది లైట్ ఇలా రైజ్ అవుతుంది నాకు ఎక్కడ వరకు అండి, స్మాలర్ టైం డిస్టెన్స్ డెల్టా. Once it gets to delta, automatically the amplitude gets to 1. Thereafterwards, it will maintain constant. Now, whatever this derived from this original signal is differentiated. The signal is differentiated. So first one, from 0 to delta, it looked like as a ramp signal, and after differentiation, I got step signal with the amplitude 1 by delta. What is that 1 by delta? Is the slope of the signal. We have treated as a ramp signal. And we have differentiated this one, d by dt of t. So we got a step 1 where the amplitude is the slope of this function. Now from delta onwards it is a constant actually. So therefore after differentiating a constant signal we got 0, then it is redrawn as a pulse. So whatever the signal, it is actually this is the original signal. ఈ సిగ్నల్ ఎలా రాస్తున్నామో మనం అంటే ఇక్కడ నీకు డిస్కంటిన్యూస్ అంటున్నాడు కాబట్టి 0 నుంచి డెల్టా వరకు ఇంక్రిమెంటల్ గా రైజ్ అయింది, అక్కడ నుంచి కాన్స్టెంట్ గా ఉంది అనుకుని దీన్ని ఏం చేసాం మనం డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేసాం. ఆఫ్టర్ డిఫరెన్షియేటింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 టు డెల్టా ఏమో ర్యాంప్ సిగ్నల్ కింద ట్రీట్ చేసావు, దాని వాట్ స్టెప్ 1 వచ్చింది. What about the amplitude? Follows the slope of this function. Slope is 1 by delta. Now after delta it is a constant. Then after differentiating a constant we got 0. So by using these two, combining the results, we have drawn the pulse. See, d by dt of u of. Now if I put delta tends to 0, then this pulse is converted into impulse. I repeat, if I put delta tends to 0, then this delta అంటే ఇక్కడ చిన్న చాలా తక్కువ టైం తీసుకున్నాము, ఆ టైం ఎక్కడికి వచ్చేస్తుంది, 0 కి వచ్చేస్తుంది అంటున్నాడు. And what about the area of this curve? The area under this curve is 1. Therefore, by applying the limitation delta tends to 0, the pulse is converted into impulse, where 1 is the area under the curve. So this is the this is the continuous time impulse function. Now if you compare with the discrete time, where 1 is a just amplitude, and that is available at n is equal to 0, but it's not like this. This is totally different. In a continuous time, impulse have 0 width, because I am placing delta tends to 0, it comes to this value. That's why it is 0 width. And what about the height? Height of the signal 1 by 0 tends to infinity. Therefore, the height of the signal it goes towards infinity. And what about the area under this curve? See, this is the curve. If you find out the area, you will get 1. Now, we are using this concept to represent any signal in terms of impulses. Continuous time impulses. I'll repeat it. Discrete time lo em chesamante direct ga oka impulse tho compare chestam. Akkada manaki elanti problem em raaledu. But ikkada em vastundi manaki you have to treat it as a area under the curve, because 1 is area under the curve. See? After differentiating this particular function, we got such type of pulse. That's why You have related like this. You have related d by dt of u of t is delta function. If you differentiate this one, you will collect delta. Opposite kuda manaki. Integration of delta leads to step function. Now, my question is, I want to represent any continuous time arbitrary signal in terms of a linear combination of shifted impulses. Okay. Now, representation of a continuous time signal as a linear combination of shifted impulses. Now, there are two signals. One signal is a normal arbitrary signal, where the second signal is the approximating the original signal. You are equating these two signals. After approximation, you are equating to the original signal. So I'll repeat it. Actually, what is impulse? Impulse look like this. Simply it look like this. But whatever the parameters around this impulse are, width is 0, height is infinity, area under curve is 1. But how can I compare? How can I represent any signal in terms of impulses? By using this concept. You treat everywhere certain area under the curve. According to that one, you can represent an impulse. Therefore, please see, consider any arbitrary signal. A certain signal, for example, for example, it is going like this from particular value to particular value. Continuous, it is continuously varying in the continuous time. Then you are dividing certain rectangular pulses with an equal time distance. So certain equal time distance to rectangular pulses ni divide chestunte veltunnam. See, that's why I have considered this topic. See, this pulse is converted into impulse. So what we are doing is, our question is, ఒక సిగ్నల్ ని షిఫ్టెడ్ ఇంపల్సెస్ లో డిఫైన్ చేయాలి అంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా ఇంపల్స్ తో డిఫైన్ చేయడం అనేది పాసిబిలిటీ లేదు నాకు. ఎలా చేయాలి నేను? ఐ హావ్ టు రిప్రజెంట్ పల్స్ నుంచి ఐ హావ్ టు కన్సిడర్ ది ఏరియా అన్నమాట. సో దేర్ మే బి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఏరియాస్ అన్నమాట. దేర్ మే బి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పల్సెస్. Every pulse has certain area, and that area we will treat it as a it will be equal to a impulse. Okay. So there may be a certain signal that is x of t, and this is approximation signal. అంటే ఈ సిగ్నల్ ని అప్రాక్సిమేట్ చేసుకుని x of t ఈక్వల్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎలా డివైడ్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారంటే ఈక్వల్ డిస్టెన్స్ లో ఉన్న పల్సెస్ కింద డిఫైన్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాను. So many number of pulses are there. I will add all the so many number of areas from this particular position to this particular position. Wherever the amplitude is like x of -1, x of 0, x of 1. But what is this actually this value? This value is, if I treat it as an impulse, that is the area under the curve of the particular impulse. Therefore, a signal is approximated by the sum of a series of narrow rectangular pulses. Okay. For example, if there is certain approximated rectangular pulse which is having distance delta of tau, and you are representing this approximated value of this original function. You have approximated here. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు approximate చేశారు. అది ఎక్కడ షిఫ్ట్ అయ్యి ఉంది నాకు అంటే 0 దగ్గర వచ్చింది అన్నమాట వాల్యూ. For example, delta tau దగ్గర ఉంది అనుకోండి, impulse is shifted to delta tau. For example, at minus delta tau, it is shifted to minus delta tau. This is a equal distance. Anni chotla, whenever the pulse is shifted, so there is a equal distance you are maintaining delta tau. So, for example, the second pulse, it is shifted minus delta tau. Please see here, first one, the amplitude, how we have written the function, x of 0 into delta of t into the time distance. This is the second one. For example, there is a pulse is here. It is shifted at minus delta tau. So for x of minus delta tau, delta of t plus delta tau into the time distance. Okay. So you are individually representing the function. Now I have to add all the functions. Then only you can represent a signal. After approximating individual areas, and those areas are approximated as a impulse, and those are shifted to certain value, and after adding all the areas under the curve, it must reflect your signal. Linear combination of shifted impulses. So we have to consider one రావాలి కదా మనకి యూనిటీ రావాలి కదా అంటే ఏం చేస్తానంటే ఒక డెల్టా ఫంక్షన్ ని 1 by delta tau అంటే దిస్ ఇస్ స్మాల్ డిస్టెన్స్ ఆన్ సర్టెన్ యాక్సిస్. అంటే t అనే యాక్సిస్ మీద స్మాల్ టౌ అనే ఒక టైం యూనిట్ షిఫ్టింగ్ వాల్యూ అన్నమాట. షిఫ్టింగ్ వాల్యూ బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ స్మాల్ వాల్యూ తక్కువ టైంలో. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు కలెక్ట్ వాట్ ఎక్స్ అనేది బయటికి రావాలి. ఎక్స్ బయటికి రావాలి అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి, నేను ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఏమవ్వాలి 1 అయిపోవాలి. దట్స్ వై వాట్ ఐ హావ్ కన్సిడర్డ్ ఈ డెల్టా అనే దాన్ని 1 by delta తీసుకుంటున్నాం మనం. whatever this amplitude is there, if you treat it as a delta impulse, the amplitude is 1 by delta. Therefore, after multiplication of these two, you will collect the area under curve is 1, and that particular pulse is shifted to actual delta tau, and you are comparing the amplitude of your signal with a impulse. Because అదే చూపించాను, ఫస్ట్ టైం చూపించాను. ఈ పల్స్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో యొక్క టైం డిస్టెన్స్ అండ్ ద హైట్ రెండు మల్టిప్లై చేస్తే ఏరియా వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ కూడా అదే జరగాలి. యాక్చువల్లీ వాటి బయటకి ఏం రావాలమ్మా, ఎక్స్ ఆఫ్ -1, ఎక్స్ ఆఫ్ 0, ఎక్స్ ఆఫ్ 1 ఇవన్నీ ఒకదానితో యాడప్ అయిపోతే చివరికి ఏమొచ్చేస్తుంది, ఎక్స్ ఆఫ్ t వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది, ఎక్స్ ఆఫ్ -1 అనేది బయటకి ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది అంటే ఇట్ ఫంక్షన్ మస్ట్ బి 1 అవ్వాలి. 1 అయితేనే దిస్ ఇస్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ at minus delta tau, x of x at t equal to 0. See, delta ఎక్కడ డిఫైన్ అయి ఉంది, t equal to 0 దగ్గర. ఇక్కడ డెల్టా ఎక్కడ డిఫైన్ అయి ఉంది, t equal to -delta tau. అక్కడే కదా మీరు యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేశారు. అంటే ఈ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్స్ అన్నిటిని యాడప్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోయారు అనుకోండి, ఐ విల్ కలెక్ట్ ఒరిజినల్ సిగ్నల్. సో జనరలైజ్ ఏం చేసాం మనం, డెల్టా ఫంక్షన్ యొక్క యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ ని 1 by delta tau అని తీసుకుంటే ఈ రెండు ఒకదానితో క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోయి వి కలెక్ట్ 1. Therefore, after adding these functions from -infinity to +infinity, I will collect the summation of all the individual amplitudes at where your impulse is shifted. -1 కి impulse shift అయింది, 0 కి impulse shift అయింది, 1 కి impulse shift అయింది. Now after generalization, see, your impulse is having number of shifts. Small time it is very small time, but those many number of shifts. So delta t minus n into capital delta tau. This is 1 by delta tau. Its value. If I multiply these two functions, I will collect the original signal. That is approximated, and these all the approximated values are equal to original signal when delta tau tends to 0. When delta tends to 0, whatever this function simply equal to delta tau. But this is only one pulse. But you are approximating your signal with the number of pulses. That's why for n delta tau tends to 0, automatically if you sum up all the values, then this reflects your original signal. But we are in continuous time domain. Okay, areas, individual areas ni sum up చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు. Where your delta is shifted, ఎక్కడైతే షిఫ్ట్ చేయబడుతుందో. Okay, but continuous time లో ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి we have changed here. The limitation, once entire the summation is replaced with integration, and whatever this capital delta tau is replaced with d tau. I repeat, you are summing number of areas under the pulses, and those areas under the pulses are treated as individual impulses, and those are shifted to certain values. And this is the weighted linear combination of shifted impulses. But what you are doing, you are adding here. You are adding from certain shifted value to certain shifted value. But what is our question? We are in continuous time domain. That's why we have replaced this limitation from summation with the integration. Therefore, as a limitation case, your delta tau becomes d tau. This is also small time, and the summation is changed with the integration. Therefore, your x of t can be represented in terms of integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. Let us remember the discrete time. Summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k into delta of n minus k. I repeat it. Summation k equal to minus infinity infinity x of k into delta of n minus k. Is it the same one we are representing in terms of integration, and you are integrating the areas under the curve? Whenever your delta function is shifted to t on tau axis, akkade chesam, whenever your delta is shifted to small n on k axis, I'll repeat, we require two axes. ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక యాక్సిస్ వేరే యాక్సిస్ తో చేంజ్ చేసుకోగలిగితేనే ఏరియా అండర్ ద కర్వ్ అనేది మీరు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయగలుగుతారు. అది చేయలేము, ఓకేనా? బికాస్ దేర్ మే బి షిఫ్టెడ్ వాల్యూ ఉంది కదా, మరి ఒకే యాక్సిస్ మీద షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుందని ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేయగలుగుతాము? సో దట్స్ వై దేర్ మే బి చేంజ్. ఆ చేంజ్ తెలియాలి కాబట్టి ఏం చేస్తామంటే డిఫరెంట్ యాక్సిస్ మీద షిఫ్టెడ్ వాల్యూ మార్చేసాం. సో దట్స్ వై ఆన్ టౌ యాక్సిస్ యు ఆర్ షిఫ్టింగ్ ద డెల్టా ఫంక్షన్ టు t, and when the delta is defined at a particular value, you are substituting here. That's why it's a linear combination, and these are the shifted impulses. So whatever the pulses you are dividing your signal into, these are, you are summing all the areas under the curve, and all individual areas you are treating as a individual impulse. Where your impulse is defined, at that instant you are finding the x of minus 1, x of minus 1, where delta of n plus 1 is there, for example. X of 0, where delta of t is there. X of 1, where delta of t minus 1 is there. That's why delta ever define cheyabadindi t equal to 1, where the amplitude is x of 1. అంటే t లో ఏం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తాను నేను? t equal to 1 పెట్టాను. So therefore, if any signal is represented in terms of shifted impulses, then this is the relation. X of t equal to integration minus infinity to infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. Right. Let us consider the convolution integral. Okay, Rama? Now we have got an idea about any signal can be represented in terms of shifted impulses, linear combination of shifted impulses. The relation we have just integration of minus infinity to infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. Now for convolution integral we require, already manaki idea undamma, ade same idea we are reflecting in the continuous time. We want impulse response of the system h of t, where we have to apply unit impulse onto the continuous LTI system. So the output returns impulse response of the system h of t. Now using your signal x of t and h of t, you are finding the overall response of the system. The same procedure. Whatever the operations and procedure we have followed at the discrete time LTI system, the same one here also. For finding the convolution integral means you are finding the overall response of the system. How it is possible? You have to find out the impulse response of the system. What is it? You are applying unit impulse onto the LTI system. You are collecting h of t. Now, after x of t is convolved with the impulse response of the system, then it returns overall response of the system. Entire behavior of the continuous time LTI system from minus infinity to plus infinity is known as convolution integral. Now what is the actual relation in terms of my integration minus infinity to infinity x of tau h, no, h of t minus tau d tau. So ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇంతవరకు సమ్మేషన్స్ పర్ఫామ్ చేసాం. ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏం చేస్తున్నాం అంటే మనం integrations perform చేస్తున్నాం, because continuous time signals, because the amplitude of the continuous time signal continuously varies with independent variable t, where t takes continuous values. But you should understand here also the same procedure. X of tau must be placed constant and h of t minus tau. What are the operations so far we have to? One is a time reversal. Second one is shifting. Suppose, let us consider, let us derive this expression, the same procedure. Let us consider y of t equal to transformation of input signal x of t. This is your normal notation, system notation. Y of t equal to transformation of x of t. Now, what is our x of t? X of t is the linear combination of shifted impulses. So, let us write this expression here. So, substitute here. Please substitute here. Now, using linearity principle, what is linearity principle? If I treat it as this is a combined signal, overall signal, and response is overall response, because so many number of shifted impulses are there. That's why the signal is a combined signal, and you are transforming a combined signal. And using linearity, you can rewrite the expression as integration minus infinity infinity x of tau. See, the transformation is changed in the order to delta of t minus tau. See, this is a combined signal. You are transforming. Now, this is the overall response of the system. Is equal to the integration of, or you can say summation of individual responses. See, this is the signal. Actually, this is your signal, delta. Okay. Therefore, by using linearity principle, I can write this expression as. Now, next step. What is this delta? H of t. H of t. And we know that one. By using time invariant property, if any shift applied and then transform, and directly we can collect the shifted output. Therefore, transformation of delta of t minus tau, simply we can write it as h of t minus tau. So there are only two points we have to apply here. One is, first of all, you have to consider x of t. What is x of t? Linear summation of linear combination of shifted impulses. Now, by using linearity property, the response of weighted sum of overall signal is equal to the summation of individual responses. Then, using time invariant property, whatever this is, transformation of delta of t minus tau is equal to h of t minus tau. See, input lo shift apply chesanu, danni transform chesanu, output lo shift verify chesanu, because time invariant kabatti. Therefore, after applying time invariance and linearity property, you got y of t equal to integration minus infinity infinity x of tau h of t minus tau dx. So h of t is the impulse response applied signal onto the linear time invariant system. So, sir, let us only 1 or 2 minutes. So, what is our topic? Our topic is continuous time LTI system. Continuous time LTI system, linear time invariant system that satisfies linearity property and time invariance property. Okay. Now, we are derived a unit step function, I mean, unit impulse function using unit step function, where you have redrawn your u of t like this. And after differentiation of this particular signal, we got a pulse. And if I put delta tends to 0 limitation, this pulse must be reflected as impulse, where 1 is area under this curve. So by using this particular notation, we are representing any arbitrary continuous time signal as a shifted impulse. Suppose if you consider any arbitrary signal and you can divide the signal into number of impulses, number of pulses, rectangular pulses, and every pulse is having the same time distance, and you have approximated certain delta having 1 by delta tau. So after multiplication of these two, I will select 1. Therefore, whatever the x at particular time, it is reflected. And after adding these all the values, x of -1, x of 0, and x of 1, it will be approximated signal and it is equal to x of t when this particular time distance goes to 0. So therefore, by approximating the areas under the curve for n number of shifted impulses, where you are approximating the applied signal x of t. So, but we are in continuous time, that's why we have changed the summations, because we have to sum so many number of pulses. Suppose in discrete లో ఉంటే ఏం చేసేవాడు, 0 దగ్గర ఒకసారి, 1 దగ్గర ఒకసారి, -1 దగ్గర ఒకసారి, -2 +2 అంటే కరెక్ట్ గా ఒక ఇన్స్టెంట్ దగ్గర యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాం. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ పర్టికులర్ డిస్టెన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యాడ్ ద ఏరియా అండ్ దిస్ స్టఫ్. అది ఏమైపోతుంది, అలాగే అన్ని ఇండివిజువల్ ఏరియాస్ ని యాడప్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతే ఇన్ఫినిటీ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ ద సమ్మేషన్ ఈజ్ టోటల్లీ కన్వర్టెడ్ ఇంటూ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్. అన్ని వాల్యూస్ ని కలిపేస్తుంటే పక్కనే సమ్మేషన్ ఏమైపోయిందంటే నాకు ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ కింద మారిపోయింది. బికాస్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్ కంటిన్యూస్ టైం. Therefore, x of t can be represented as integration minus infinity infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d. Now, by using this representation and the impulse response of the system, we have considered the convolution integral. So we are convolving x of t and h of t, where h of t is the impulse response, where you are applying delta t onto the continuous time system. Now the expression is y of t equal to integration minus infinity infinity x of tau h of t minus tau theta. So in the previous class convolution sum, we have fixed one signal and we have transformed the second signal. Then whenever the two signals are interacted each other, where you have found the summation area under the curve. Here the same procedure, but in the last one we have to integrate the area under this combined signal. Okay, so the procedure is same. First of all, you have to change the axis to tau. Second one signal must be fixed. Second signal is time reversed. Whatever the time reversed signal is, according to the t value, it must be shifted to right or maybe shifted to left. If t is positive, you have to shift right. If t value is negative, you have to shift left. I'll repeat it. On tau axis, t is the shifted value. Previous class lo em cheptunnam, on k axis, n, small n is the shifted value, h of n minus k. Now h of t minus tau. Tau అనేది యాక్సిస్ అమ్మా, ఆ యాక్సిస్ మీద t అనేది షిఫ్టెడ్ వాల్యూ. అంటే what it is saying, suppose if I put t equal to 0, అంటే you are finding y of 0, అంటే y of 0 ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తున్నాం అంటే ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఎక్కడికి షిఫ్ట్ చేసినట్టు, 0 కి షిఫ్ట్ చేసినట్టు. Suppose y of 1, that means you are going 1 means you are shifting h of minus tau to 1. For example, y of minus 1, that means you are shifting h of minus tau to minus 1. Then you are seeing whether these two are interacting each other, I mean intersecting, overlapping, superimposing, where you are finding the limits. Within that limit, you are integrating and you are finding overall response of the system. Okay, quickly within 5 to 6 minutes, I will consider a problem, simple problem. Consider a continuous time LTA system with impulse response h of t is equal to u of t and input x of t equal to e power at into u of t, where a is given greater than 0. Now the same this problem we have to perform the convolution integral. You can see here input signal x of t is given, impulse response of the system h of t is given, but u of t is a direct continuous time step signal. But this you have to find out what are the limitations and what is the pattern of the signal. What is e power at? It is a exponential signal, but according to this factor, it is a decaying exponential signal. See, same అదే idea, same steps, same notation, అట్లాగే సిగ్నల్స్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకోవాలి, అదే విధంగా లిమిటేషన్స్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి, ఇంటరాక్షన్ చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి, ప్రొసీజర్ ఏం మారుతుంది. But only the thing is, you are in continuous time domain. And first one, second one is, you have to integrate the area under the summation చేసాం previous case లో. Now integration చేయాలి, integration of 1, integration of t, integration of cos, integration of sin. So let us find out the signal. E power minus at where a greater than 0. It is a decaying signal, exponentially decaying signal. Suppose consider u of t. It is a now continuous అమ్మా. ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు కంటిన్యూస్ గా సిగ్నల్ తీసేసాను నేను. మొన్న ఏం చేశాను, శాంపుల్స్ తీసుకుంటూ వచ్చాను ఒక్కొక్క n is equal to 0 దగ్గర, n is equal to 1 దగ్గర. ఇప్పుడు ఇది కంటిన్యూస్ వాల్యూ కదమ్మా, కాబట్టి కంటిన్యూస్ లైన్ గీసేసాం అన్ని వాల్యూస్. Therefore, after multiplication of these two, let us consider left part and right part. 1 ఎక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయింది, 0 దగ్గర స్టార్ట్ అయింది. That's why these two must be multiplied. You got this one. See, same idea. Now you are in continuous time domain. First of all, I have to find out e power minus at into u of t. What is e power minus at? Actually, small a అనేది మారుతూ ఉంటే ప్యాటర్న్ మారుతూ ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇక్కడ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ 0 ఇచ్చాడు కాబట్టి it is a decaying signal. After multiplication of these two, I got this. Now, what are the two signals? X of tau is e power minus a tau u of tau. H of tau u of tau. Now I have to convolve these two signals. The shapes are like this. See, this is different, this is different. Actually, it is that both are starting at 0, but the signal is having maximum amplitude at 0 and it is decaying exponentially towards plus infinity. But this is a constant. Suddenly it changes to 1 and it is maintained constant up to infinity. The two signals are totally different signals, but both are starting at 0. Now you have to convolve. What is the expression? Integration minus infinity infinity x of tau h of t minus tau theta. First ఏం చేసామో రెండింటి యొక్క యాక్సిస్ చేంజ్ చేసాం, తర్వాత టైం రివర్సల్ ఒక సిగ్నల్ ఫిక్స్ చేసేసాం, రెండో సిగ్నల్ యొక్క టైం రివర్సల్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసాం. సి 0 నుంచి ప్లస్ ఇన్ఫినిటీకి వెళ్ళవలసిన సిగ్నల్ ఇప్పుడు 0 నుంచి మైనస్ ఇన్ఫినిటీకి వెళ్తాము. బ్యాక్ సైడ్ గీసాను చూసారా, కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది. నౌ లెట్ t ఈక్వల్ టు 0. లెట్ t ఈక్వల్ టు 0. అక్కడ ఏం చేసాం, జనరలైజేషన్ n is equal to 0 తీసుకున్నాం. Now let t equal to 0 పెడితే ఏమవుతుంది, h of minus tau వస్తుంది, h of minus tau వస్తుంది. బట్ ఈ పాయింట్ ని ఏం చేస్తున్నాను నేను, t కింద తీసుకున్నాను. Now I divided certain limitation. Suppose if t is less than 0, that means you have shifted left. Then you see whether any overlapping is there. There is no overlap. That's why output is 0. Now the next one. If t is greater than or equal to 0, please see here, t is more than 0. That means your signal is, now it is shifted to right side. It is shifted to right side. What is the shifting value on tau axis? First left shift చేసాము, తర్వాత రైట్ కి పట్టుకొస్తున్నాము. సో రైట్ సైడ్ తీసుకొచ్చాను నేను, అంటే 0 దగ్గర ఉన్న 0ని క్రాస్ చేసిన ఒకటే ఫంక్షన్ వస్తుంది. అంటే ఏం చేసామంటే గ్రేటర్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు రెండింటిని ఒక దాంట్లో కలిపేసాం. ఈక్వల్ టు 0 దగ్గర అయినా ఇదే విధంగా ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతుంది సిగ్నల్, మోర్ దాన్ 0 అయినా ఇదే విధంగా ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతుంది. టూ సిగ్నల్స్ ఆర్ సూపరింపోజ్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 to t. దిస్ ఈస్ h of t minus tau and the second one is x of tau. And ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడి వరకు ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతుంది ఏమనుకుంటూ 0 నుంచి t వరకు on tau axis. After t is greater than 0, right shift chesanu signal ni. Therefore I want to integrate. Now operator maripoyindi. In the previous class the operator is summation, now it is integration. So integrator 0 to t integration e power minus a tau. What about the u of t and u of t minus tau? Both are unity. These can agree. Already మనం తెలుసు కదా, యూనిట్ స్టెప్ సిగ్నల్స్ రెండు 1 అయిపోతాయి. సో ఓన్లీ ద రిటర్న్ ఫంక్షన్ ఏమవుతుంది మనకి, e power minus a tau ఉండిపోయింది. ఇంకా సో I have to integrate this function. You know that one already. E power minus a tau by minus a, you have to apply limits from 0 to t. After finding the value, I got 1 by a into 1 minus e power minus a t for t greater than or equal to 0. So by combining the two results, I got overall response of the system. That means when we convolve these two signals, if you shift, if you are fixing first signal as it is, the second signal is time reversed and shifted left. Time reversed and shifted left. You see whether any interaction is there, and afterwards you are step by step you are shifting towards right. Actually, the generalized question kabatti you are treating this one is a -1, -2, -3, -4 any value. It's generalized thinking. అట్లాగా రైట్ సైడ్ షిఫ్ట్ చేశారంటే అర్థం ఏంటంటే యూ ఆర్ షిఫ్టెడ్ టు 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ఎనీ వాల్యూ. బట్ ఏ వాల్యూ షిఫ్ట్ అయినా కూడా యూ విల్ ఫైండ్ ద సేమ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్. ఇంకా వేరే రకమైన ఇంటరాక్షన్ అనేది ఉండదు. యూ విల్ ఫైండ్ ద సేమ్ ఓవర్లాపింగ్ ఏరియా. సో therefore within that area for finding the integration you got flexible. So this is the overall response of the system. Okay. So I will end up within 1 or 2 minutes. I will repeat it. What is the question? We have given input signal x of t is e power minus at into u of t, where a is greater than 0. Second one, impulse response of the system h of t equal to u of t. Now we have to find out y of t. Output, overall response, convolution integral. See, output anna ade, overall response anna ade, and third one ఏంటంటే convolution integral. మూడు అదే. So here we are in continuous time domain. When we convolve, we have to use integration. Minus infinity to e plus infinity integration x of tau h of t minus tau d tau. Now what is the procedure? First of all, you have to see whether the signals అంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా ఉన్నాయి మనకి లేదా we have to apply the transformations and find out the signal. Why we need to find out, draw the signal? Because we want to integrate the area and this curve from certain unit to certain unit. మరి మనకి ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడికి ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాలో తెలియాలి. మనకి తెలియాలంటే కంపల్సరీగా ఏం చేయాలన్నా you have to perform the transformation and see what is the actual signal. Now this is my signal e power minus at u of t is like this. Now I want to convolve this signal with the unit step, and after convolving that means once you have shifted left, another one once you have shifted right, we got the overall response of the system is for t less than 0 it is 0, t greater than or equal to 0 is 1 by a times 1 minus e power minus at. Okay. The coming class I will consider some different signals, some other input signals and some other impulse responses. We will see the convolution integral. We will apply the convolution integral and we will see what are the overall response of the system. So within 2 classes I will end up this session, and after from the third class I will go to orthogonality principle.